Okay, I have a category 7 here, and it just happens to be May 7th, 2025. And my problem is this. This is supposed to be running off of 3 volts or less, I thought. That was the idea. But I'm just using this for a power supply. Halfway rectifier. I never removed that 100K that I have in there hidden. Wherever it's at. I gotta use the B plus off right from the diode, so it's gonna be hummy. 60 cycle hum. I don't know what I got for capacitance for filtering. If I had one more resistor to filter it a little more, it'd probably be fine. But anyways, at the 1682 desk here. So this is the part for the modulator for the FM transmitter in a short, very short distance of 20 meters. I'm going to center this around. I understand being a ham operator, especially a novice, you want to be near the center of the band so you can't step on other frequencies that you ain't supposed to be there. So I'm going to work with this here. And I notice I have I can focus this, the cathode here, which is how most people have it. But I think I want it this way so it can be like an AM radio or something where it sends a negative voltage. So I'm going to try this. I have earth ground. Or this ain't earth ground, cold water pipe, but it's neutral, or ground, I should say, ground/neutral, whatever the household currents are. So that'll be on the south side of the capacitor. Everything else, grounding to be on the north side to keep us safe from this and this. No, this is one power supply. One power supply, 2 items, 1 power supply. So I'll plug it in here and see what I can get. And the antenna is just, I don't know, 15 feet of wire, like about a number, I think about a number 12 gauge wire, I think. 10 gauge wire, maybe. It's kind of, I haven't looked at it in a while. Plugged in. I think it's a 12 gauge wire. Oh, we're waiting for this to come on. Full blast. So that's the poor filtering, taking it off the highest B plus. I think the audio output can be taken off the highest B plus, but the other side cannot, has to be filtered more. So I'm going to hook this up. Wait a minute. Okay, that's full blast. This is the religious station. I want to put a 6AV6 here in front of this preamp. But I think I'm at audio. I think if I hooked a cassette player up to it or something, it'd be proper, I think. This is an old capacitor. It's not repacked like this one. That one is a .047 inside of it. This has never been tested. I should test it so it's not dangerous. So we'll just flash it, make sure there's no problems. This should be fused, actually. So back in the olden days, this would go to a cold water pipe. So there's the 60 cycle. And we'll add in the tuner back in. So this is man-made noise, apparently. All the frequencies they got floating around. So I can't get nothing. Now this capacitor is in the out position. If I flick it up, then it will introduce that capacitor. And what it does is shifts this. So like if I want to go down to 55, it can't quite get it. It's right at the edge. So if I flick this in, then I can find it up a little higher, and everything shifts that way. So there's the church channel. Here's a church channel. It's not the greatest switched. I switched it, it didn't do nothing. That don't sound like the church channel. If I add that in, I have to go this way. So this is probably 710. 710 is stronger than 610. I cannot get Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck is on 650. I'm recording him from the other room, so I can listen to it later. I think that's 710. Glenn Beck would be at 650, right around here. I think that's not the church channel. I think it's sports. Anyways, what's going on here? I have number 22 wire. Red is 82 turns. So this Remington wire I bought, I used a whole spool obviously there. And so it's 82 turns to here. To here makes 100. Here it makes 150, and I think that's about another 25 because it got very scary winding it because I had nothing to hold on to. I started from this end, turning it away from me.
We'll have the most heat, sick and save time policy, and family from in the country. Next back where it's
I mean, when I used it before, if I used that small, the heck is it? That Signo tracer, my smaller one. What are they? Heathkit. I think they're ICO. I can't remember now, but the smaller one I can really pick up good sound. But I have problems here. If I hook an antenna up, it goes to the shits. even though this is only about 15 feet. If I hook up, it's like I'm putting a choke on it and choking out my sensitivity. I was using that for protection capacitor. See, it kills it. It's like putting a choke on it. The antenna wire.
We would get an announcement that the EPA is going to raise the RVOs. There's talks right now. I wish he was a Green Bay Packer. We'll just here in 20 minutes from right here. That we could.
So there you go. I think I remember that being like 22 picofarads, but I'm not going to say it because I'm not sure. I'm going to measure it and write it down. But my capacitor checker ain't that accurate. I'd have to compare with other capacitors, known value. So I think this has to be flipped so I can have my, from here to the base of the capacitor. This capacitor right now is hooked up to that end and this first one. That's your tuning capacitor is hooked up to this bit. That's wrong. I have to order more wire, I think. I got a big spool. I paid like 45 bucks, but it's number 18 wire. 18? Number 18 wire. It's the stuff for this. Well, this here was built by a very, very wise person. I mean, I built it, but I got the idea from him from the internet. It's a good one to build, I think. I've never used it, but this guy here, this wire, I think is number 18. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this on that plastic piping stuff, and I'm going to put electrical tape around it, because otherwise the wire is just going to be springing. It's going to move this way. At least that's why I chose to use cardboard, like most other people, I guess, do, that I could see. And I see people use the plastic, but then it's harder to keep track of your windings together. So I'm going to try to wrap it nicely with electrical tape, because I can't use electrical tape where it belongs because it'll come off. It comes off. I had to quit. I always had to put masking tape over electrical tape on automotive stuff because it comes off. So this is to the ham radio. This is whatever you can, I guess, lay down on the ground. Unless if you, I don't have no meters to check anything else. So I would just, wing it. But still, this guy that does this on YouTube, he's a very smart guy. Anyways, I guess it covers all that. I guess. I'm not really sure. I was looking at it for a shortwave, shortwave, but I never tried it. But then I have that ham radio without a license to drive the damn thing. So I'm gonna flick this diode around so the cathode is this way, and so we're sending a negative direction. I think I like that better. Back on. 1682 desk. Uh-oh. I got nothing. That sucks. See what happens. I don't know. Sounds worse. So we used to have a lot of talk radio around here until this George was buying a bunch of radio stations all the way from Florida to California, I believe, buying as many radio stations. They even twisted some things our last administration so he could purchase more radio stations for not being an American, I believe. But they let him buy them, I guess. So that's when our radio stations seemed to change up here. The talk radio, we had all kinds of people, Dan Bongino, Glenn Beck, Mark Levin, all these people I could pick up until this change happened. So I think George purchased them. You know, Bill, the swamp. So anyways, I'm gonna build a new one of those, and I'm gonna do this electrical tape around it, which is gonna make it a little more sloppy, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So this is the 6FM8. This left side gets hotter than heck. The left side is driving the audio output transformer. This is gonna be where you hook up your this is gonna be, is that what am I seeing there? Looks like solder. It's glue. Well, that's the plate anyways, for modulation of the transmitter. So this is going to be placed, this is the 2 meters apparently, and this is going to be placed about here. I'm going to have the 6AU8, or another possibility is a 6AW8, but I have purchased some 6AU8s because we used to make CB radios in the early 70s with just one of those, and then a 6AQ5 audio amplifier and a 12AX7 probably, or 6SN7 style stuff. So I'll have the 6AU8 here transmitting FM. Hopefully the oscillator side will be the triode, and the pento side will be hooked up for modulation. I'm going to do some trickery there. Hopefully I can pull it off to get it transmitting FM. It'll be more stable if I can modulate the pentode side and keep the oscillator at a set amount of B plus or something. And I think this one is just going to fly the way it is. It's just an oscillator transmitter. It's going to try to be, I don't know how far it'll transmit, but who knows. I'll get the schematic for this, what my plans are here. I still do not have a cathode, or I mean a bypass capacitor there, or one on the 2.2K. It's hid down there. I'll get the info on it. I think that will be about a 0.005. I don't have that hooked up. I will hook it up when I remove everything, maybe, so I have better access at it. But so this capacitor, this will be the main B plus. Close, it'll be about a 22 ohm or 68 ohm in front of that to the B plus. Then we'll have about a 22K, I think, about here, with maybe 47s here. And I have to get a, I think I found a 22 microfarads. This one here will be whatever. Probably the same. So I have a 1 meg on my input here. I do not have the black one to negative. I do not have this or this to negative or neutral. This is going to have a capacitor interference, you know, so I don't get a shock. I want to keep this away from neutral in case it gets plugged in backwards, so it becomes hot. I want like a 0.0068 capacitor between this metal plate, the back of the potentiometer, to minus. Same thing with this, the black one on here for the speaker windings. I think on tabletop phonographs, some of them separate that from their minus too, for maybe protection reasons from being electrocuted. So anything to add on will have to be hooked up to this. Any more metal, so if you touch this, you don't get electrocuted. But we survived the 60s and 70s playing around with stuff. I was born in 60s, so we were at it kind of young, monkeying around with stuff. This thing here, I'm going to try this with a good working, oops, I shouldn't, that's B plus on there. But we don't have much B plus in this thing. 150 volts, 165 volts or something. I've been shocked with that enough times, so. But we got to pay attention to safety of neutral, AC and cold water pipes and stuff. So this will separate you. I'm going to put a yellow jacket in one of these. But I have to flip this. I hate to do it because it was working so great, but no, it like went to the shits. I haven't used it in a long time, but I thought it worked best with the cathode this direction. But also I used that ICO signal tracer that has a lot more gain. You know, I got to put a 6AV6 in front of this. You know, I didn't never even hook that up to a cassette player or nothing to see if it's, you know, got adequate gain. I do have oscilloscope. I could look at it, and a signal generator. Maybe I'll plug that damn thing into it. You never know. This ain't. But I thought of this morning. I thought, man, I could try this. So if you're going down to 550, it's right borderline. You can't go any more that way. So, right? So I go like this. It pops it that way. Then I can get maybe 550 here, and obviously I don't know why I'm not getting no signal. This will work against it. Where's my signal? Oh. So that's adequate, I think, for an audio amplifier. If I add another stage, it's just going to get more squealy, but I'd like to put a 6AV6 there to have for a guitar input. Maybe I can have a guitar input up here and have it thinned out so it's not too, so it doesn't destroy the signal. You got a thin guitar out, otherwise it sounds horrible. Okay, maybe that's why. So now if I touch this, I don't want to get electrocuted, so that's why I want to have the capacitor from here to the ongoing negative neutral. And if it's the AC is plugged in incorrectly, then it's so-called neutral. It's hot. So that's the idea of the capacitor here. So when you hook up to your earth ground or your cold water pipe or the lower prong of the AC outlet, you're okay. Same thing with this. That's the idea of that. So you don't hook up to something and get electrocuted. I was wondering why my dad had insurance on us as kids. Probably because of me working with vacuum tube stuff. Okay, the only other person in our neighborhood was Russell Lafla. He was into ham radios and stuff, but he died of cigarette smoking. That's sad, but he's probably one of the most loyal people in our neighborhood. Actually, when you come down in loyalty, probably be the most person you could depend on and trust. That's what I think. So this is it. This thing is supposed to run on lesser than 3 volts. So if I make a field effect, if I introduce the input signal to George, it'll be a cathode follower, a drain follower. I don't know, don't sound right. But I want to get it to running on 3 volts or less. So this is it for now. I'm going to just really quickly, this transformer gets hotter than heck. It's, ouch. Yeah, she's really hot. Whew. It can't handle that tube. It can't handle that vertical output, oscillator output tube. It can't handle it. Okay, for the filaments, I'm going to let it sit for a few minutes and then I'm going to hook up a signal generator to it. Okay, back on at the 1682 desk. Have it plugged in. Do I have it hooked up? I think so. So these are the frequencies you need if you want to put a big speaker underground and make an earthquake. Full blast. It could probably use some more gain, but this is the last I used it, so I had adequate gain, but it's not attenuated, very inaccurately and very poor. Is that motorboating? Something like that? Bass out of a stereo would not be very loud, so I think that's normal. So it's probably enough gain for audio. This is 2 meters, 20 meters, but this is full blast. No, it wasn't. I don't know, it's got pretty good strength the way it is, but I still have to put a 6AV6 to plug a guitar in. This is it, what I got right now, except for no capacitors on the cathodes and no capacitors across the output. This is not to my safety ground yet, the bottom of the output transformer. So I will have a Husky power transformer in that lower left corner, and I will have the 6AU8 up here eventually, and this will probably be put down here first because it's already completed. I just have to get everything, or get some very long posts to have that mounted, but I want to rearrange the loop stick to obviously stick oh boy, probably has to go upside down. I wonder if I could put that ferrite in from this direction. I'm not sure how that would be affiliated. Maybe I can't use this coil. Well, I'm not sure. That'll come up. So right now this is just used as a poor filtered power supply, halfway rectifier. When I get the power supply, the power transformer here, and the filtering up here on one of these strips, I will have a full wave rectifier, and it should be a lot better. Unless if I have problems, I'll go with the halfway rectifier. I don't think it'll much matter as long as you got these electrolytics. Get some 47s across it if it's halfway or full wave rectifier. I don't think it'll really matter. So this is it. Time to quit.